Hey y'all, this is Deidre here with Deidre's Daily Dreamers coming at you with a new video. I promised a lady a junk journaling video, so I decided I would go ahead and film the whole thing. This is my original junk journal that I did last year for 2025. I finished the book, but I'm in a new book for 2025, but I started this one June 25th, 2025, and I've been junk journaling a year because it's 2026 in May. I'm in my gown and everything, done got geared up down for the night, and I thought I would film a video of my junk journal. So let me turn. This is my junk journal here. You can see my book bag and the thing. It says Let's Be Mermaids. This was my first one. This was my second page. This was my June 22nd, 2025. I was 40 years old. This is my birthday. That's my nickname. This is my name. I did all of the things. Look, this one's super glued. It wouldn't even stay. It's got junk journal on it. I taped them in. They're taped in. This is coming out of here, but that's fine. That's what a junk journal gonna do if you build it big enough. Look, this was my current favorite thing that says some of my favorite things lately. Library, rekindle passion for reading books. I plan on attending events at the library, which I've been doing. Exercise and learning ASL I've been doing. We bodybuilding. Sudoku and fairy game on Facebook. Happy hobbying. Up here it says I started the junk journal as a creative outlet. I'll be using scrapbooking techniques along with junk journaling techniques. Happy journaling 2025. This is, I started off just like scrapbooking. This is my future self. I wrote this letter in November 2025. I'm doing all this stuff so much, I done basically claimed it into existence. I could read this dear future self letter to you, and I'm doing it so much, done got a new job as a mental health peer supported counselor. It says, have quiet time daily with Jesus, exercise daily, read 2 books a week, write my book on task, wait weekly. That means write my own book. Learn ASL daily, learn technical computer skills weekly. We doing all this at great speed. This is a layout I did. This is Christmas right here. This ribbon right here. I'll show you it in a minute. But this is what I originally started off doing. See, I scrapbook all this. This was scrapbooked. It's just paper. This one I did for Matthew. It's all paper. Look, this one we're getting a little more creative. This was at Thanksgiving. It's got all the things on it. I put all this on there. I had different stickers and everything. This right here is a banner I took apart in 2025. Being thankful. Grateful, thankful, blessed. Grateful most of all for my family and friends. Look, made a little tab and everything. This is Christmas. I had so much fun at Christmas. I tore and ripped, and all these are for me and Matthew's gifts. This is for Matthew to me, D to Matt, and that's Matthew to Deidre, Matt to D. This I made. It's got a pocket in there. I'm just going to keep shooting. It's going to take me a minute to get through this. I made this. I made a tassel, a Merry Christmas tassel, put a gingerbread man on it. I made a gingerbread house and wore it. I didn't get to wear it because I got sick in December. But look, this is the ornament I sewed on. It's sewed on there. This is the ribbon we used. All this ribbon we used on gifts. It's just gift paper. Look, this was at Christmas time. This was letters. I'm not going to stay on this because it's got names on it. This was Christmas. I just did this. This is what my grandmother always used to say. My Mimi, Merry, Merry Christmas. She'd say, Merry, Merry. And I put that on here. We were living our best life in December. Look, Merry Christmas 2025. Look, I used the Little Debbie box. This is the Little Debbie box all the way with the fringe and everything. Cut it all out. Had it on there twice. I liked it so much. This is Deidre Loves Matthew. I scrapbook back. This is a Merry Christmas card that's in here. I liked it so much I put the card in here. And this card somebody wrote me. Marshawn and Carrie Berry. That's the lady that wrote this. She wrote this. What Christmas means to me. Note I knew some scripture to back my points up here. And this was the card she gave me. I kept it safe. Look, put it in a little thing and everything. This was a gift bag. This was a gift bag. Look, I kept this. She did it. Marshall Christmas 2026. This is Christmas. This is the Christmas bag. This, we're doing our best life. Look, put all the things in here. Got a ribbon in here. This was just from cards that I got sent. Look, we're living our best life still and Thanksgiving. Look, I made this one. Look, somebody sent me a card from Wichita, Kansas. Actually, it was Jackie Locke. If this is you, honey, you made my... That was Facebook. She made my Merry, Merry Christmas spread. I'm living my best life. Matthew did all this wrapping paper. Look, got all the tags and everything. Got the ribbon I used, the tags. This is his nephew right here, Mary and Mary. Merry Christmas from the T. Tyler, Autumn, and Leah. If this is y'all getting shouted out on my Facebook page. They're real people. This is real people right here. Sent me letters at Christmas. Look, living my best life. Matthew got me a gift. Look, this is the hope of Christmas. I got this at Church of the Highlands at Christmas. If you're at Church of the Highlands, we're living our best life in Christmas. Got the hope of Christmas. Made my book. Look, made all this. Look, Clessa, you made my book, baby. Look, Clessa did my nails for the first time. Look, it says Merry Christmas. This comes off. I'm living my best life so much I put it in here. Merry Christmas. Look, all these tags. Got all these gifts. Look, made all this. Made my best life. Look, it comes out. I didn't even write anything in there. It goes back in here. It goes back in there. Look, got a little tab in here. I don't even know if everybody's seeing everything. Look, this is the book. The book I actually needed was a Turkey Burgers cookbook. We're living our best life. Yes, we are, in a cookbook. Look, this right here went to the World Market. If you work at the World Market, you made my bath towels. Look, 100% cotton. World Market Nadia bath towels. Made it. Look, it's interactive. We bought them at Christmas last year. This is my house reset I do every year. Look, doing my best life. Look, we're living life so much in January. We did all the things. Look, we cleaned. We did a house reset. Look, house reset January. I need to put tape over that. Did a house reset in January. Cleaned so much, made myself sick. Look, here's my junk journal. This page, this is getting long, but look, this is my junk journal. Junk journal. We just living our best life. Look, it didn't even take right there. Look, it's the cookbook. Charcoal grill poultry sausages served for. Gas grill poultry sausages. It didn't even take. Look, got a Doritos bag and Pepsi. Drunk it all and everything. Look, got Pepsi on there. This is January 2026. The lady sent me this in the new year. Ursula, if you're out there, honey, you made my book. All this is from her. Living my best life. This is the Dillard's Christmas gift for Monica. Monica at the Auburn Mall. You made my book, honey. Look, here's Dillard's. Here's the bag and everything. Look, bag is in there. And I'm going to be in a fashion show at Dillard's next month. This was December 2025. See, it says gift for Monica at the Auburn Mall. Monica, if you see this, you made my book, honey. And I was in a fashion show in December last year. I was a 80s influencer at the Dillard's Mall. Look, this is all perfumes I liked. We'll go ahead and look at them. They're in there. I got it as a gift. They're all in there. The ones that I picked that I like, because I wear Gucci Bloom all the time. I guess I like Ralph Club New York. I kept it. Look, here's one right here. Alien. Kept that one. I wore that one for a long time. Kept all these. I gave the rest of them to my friend Amanda. Amanda, you made my book, baby. Look, this is Mountain Dew Baja Citrus. We doing the dew at my house. Look, we liked it so much we did a whole page. Look. Look, here we go. We got char grilled lamb kebabs again. Here's Valentine's Day. We speeding up to Valentine's Day. I went to a Galentine's event with Marshall. This is all the stuff I got. I wore some gloves, and this is the gloves insert right here. Marsall, you made my book again, honey. Look, we blooming from within so much. We blessed and highly favored. We so blessed. Look, this video's 15 minutes, and I'm still going. This is Harry Potter. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I didn't become a Harry Potter fan till recently. Here's my Julia spread. I got this ring on right here I got from Julia. So if you're from Julia, look, I like it so much. I got a bag and everything. Got hearts. The hearts I got from Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. At my church. Thank you, Kathy. Look, thread chicken on double skewers, swordfish kebabs. I guess we wanted to keep kebabs because look, we got these. Peach salsa makes about 2.5 cups. Look, I can make all this myself. I've done recipes before. Look, it says embrace your own journey, dreamed and planned in the making. We just speeding up right along in 2025. Making planned and dreamed in the making. Embracing your own journey. Look, made this. I made another page that didn't even make it in here. This one right here is so interactive. It comes off. Look. New Elmer's glue and made this. Look, it's so interactive, it come off. Look. So interactive, it come off. I'm going to put that over here. Made this out of stamps I got from the library for free. Actually, I made this from stamps Miss Wendy gave me at Church of the Highland. Thank you, Wendy. You made my junk journal, baby. Look, it says congratulations. Look, Kathy, at the church, you made my junk journal. Look, this happy planner right here. Doing all the things we love. Made this and everything in January before I went in the hospital. Look, we like Dr. Thunder and the popcorn so much. Did a spread. Look. Did this in January. Number 1, body build. Number 2, quiet time. Number 3, mirror work. Number 4, learn ASL. Look, made this spread in January. It says, be the girl who kicks ass. Look, made little yoga poses. Made a bracelet. I made a bracelet from this exact ribbon. Made a Jesus bracelet. Look, put dream big. Made a cutout. Says, dear body, I love you. Make it happen. Strength is beautiful. Did that. This is the last of my junk journal. Matthew cut it out because there was so much in there. Look, I made a cookbook into my junk journal. Look, this is the back. This is the binding. Look, here's the binding right here. New tape. Look, this is the front of my junk journal. Got my initial, got all the jewels and things on there. This is how thick my journal is. Look, I got a new journal. I'll show it to y'all. Look, this is my 2025 spread. Look, my house reset, January 2025. We speed up. Look, this is 2026 right here. We just doing all the things. Look, bodybuilding, quiet time, mirror work, learn ASL, learn advanced coping skills. I did all that in January. Look, this goes back to my life. I started junk journaling in June 2025 of 2025. Made my own spreads. These look more like me. All the things. Let's be mermaids. Look. Look, we're doing all the things. I'm getting DMs right now from Facebook. This video's been 20 minutes and 50 minutes already. Look, this is my age. Last year, I was 40 years old. My birthday is July 1st. I'm fixed to have another birthday. This is the whole year right here. Look, the whole thing. It says the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams, Oprah Winfrey. I did that in Happy Planner, I guess. I don't know. I got it from somewhere. Look, I glued all this on there. Look, I belong to Deidre Denny, Dream Big. We dreaming so big. I gotta make the next video. This one's 22 minutes long. And I'm gonna tell you more about my current favorite things in 2026. Yay, yay, yay. Look, wrote my future self. Wrote me into existence right here, November 2025. I need to rewrite a dear future letter self to myself. This one's so real, it come true. I'm fit to be a mental health supported counselor now for free. I'm fit to volunteer and brought it into existence in November 2025. I'm going to tell y'all about my future self in my next video. Look, scrapbooking. Look, we didn't do nothing fancy until Thanksgiving. Then we start speeding up. I'm going to keep speeding up so you can see my progression. Christmas, I love Christmas. Look, did all these spreads, Christmas, out of wrapping paper. Look, did the whole spread. It all matches. Look, started in the new year. Deidre loves Matthew. Actually, I didn't. I did this in December. Look, this is Christmas. This was Marsall. I love you, Marsall. Look, this is a Christmas bag. This is Christmas card. This is back to Thanksgiving. I did this in December. Look, December. It comes out. It's interactive. This video is getting long, but I want to show the progression of me. This is me right here. This is my life. Look, a house reset in January. Did all the things. Look, I can't even. Did all the things. So much I made myself sick. This is how mental health ties in. Ate so many chips and Dr. Thunder made a box. Eat so many chips and Pepsi, made Doritos and Pepsi. January 2026. Look, January 2026. Ursula sent me all this. All this right here. Look, the new year, the new me. Pops right out. Look, I got this in January. Monica, you made my book, baby. See, look. Mountain Dew. Doing all the things. Look, Valentine's Day. We're blooming from then and Valentine's Day. Look, we just keep right along. I got a Harry Potter Happy Planner in January. I couldn't even use. I was so sick. I was so sick in January of 2025. Look, I documented Harry Potter. I loved Harry Potter, the book. My husband got me so much, I did a Harry Potter spread on the cookbook. See, look, a good laugh. I did this on the book. Look, we living our best life so much. Matthew got me another wedding ring. There's the wedding ring right there. It's got the rubies and the aquamarine on it. The aquamarine for March. The 4 rubies for my birthday. Look, I've got this ring on right here. It was his mama's. We're just living our best life in January. Look, lived the life so much we left cooking on there. I like to cook. Matthew does most of the cooking though. He cooked for me tonight. I ate a hamburger and my favorite hamburger and sweet potato fries. Look, made this in January. Living my best life. Look, here's a Dr. Thunder and popcorn. I love popcorn. Look, living our best life. Number 1, body build. Number 2, quiet time. Number 3, mirror work. Number 4, learning ASL. Number 5, learning advanced coping skills. I did all this in January. Look, be the girl who kicks ass. I made a page I can show that is not even in this book. I've made pages that dream big that didn't even make 2025 that I did. Look, here's 2025 right here. Matthew cut all the rest of the cookbook out. I'm living my best life in 2025. So much. Look, this is my life all year. Speed up. Look, there I am. If you stayed with me this long and gawked at my junk journal, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Tell me that you looked at my junk journal and stuck with me a whole 30 minutes to tell you all about it. This is a long video, but I decided to share it because this is my life. I want to document my life here on Facebook. I've lost 200 pounds. I can document it. I have pictures. If you've been with me the whole 30 minutes, let me know. Thank you. Love y'all. Bye.